Okay, we're back. I did a little bit of carving before coming back on, just so I would know how to teach it, or to show you what I was doing. What we have is, I have one pumpkin and one small apple. And over on, I drew it on just like it would be a relief carving. You have to figure out where you want to put the pumpkins, where you want to put the apples and the pears. And from there you can go ahead and start carving your pieces. So we have 3 pumpkins in the front. We have one here, we have one over here, and one here. Because this one is before this one, this is the next one we're going to carve, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, all you want to do is you want to do the stem, and you want to remember you're on the end of you're really working on the end piece. So you have to be very careful that you don't try to take out too much wood at one time, otherwise you're going to knock some of this, might just chip off on you. So you want to be careful. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go from this side and follow that, and then turn it around and get that point right in that corner. Okay, try to go as straight in as you can, or as you see I'm trying to do here. And we're going to follow that all the way down to the bottom here, just like so. And again, we're going to turn it around so we can make that last little swipe there at the bottom. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to take your knife and you're going to just cut this out. You want to be careful not to push the tip of your knife in too far into the carving itself. You want to be very careful of that. But yet you want to try to feel how the grain is going, because sometimes you're going to have to turn around just like I did here and get to that corner. So you want to do your first initial cut that way. Try to get as much out as you can, evenly and cleanly. Once we have this established, we might be able to, see, I'm doing just small little cuts there at the corner. I don't want to chip anything out. It's okay if it's a little deep there, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to very gently go up to the stem, go back and recut it. Now, one thing is, if you put a lot of pressure on your blade to go down, you might break or have it tear, and you don't want to do that. So you just want to go in there just a little bit, and then just take the point of your knife and just kind of let the knife do the work. You don't want to chip it out or pull it out or pry it out if you can help it. Alright, see how we have both sides of the stem done? You're going to go to the top. You're just going to take a little pieces out of there as well. See, and I'm going against the grain, so I'm going to turn the knife around and go the other way. Alright? It's really hard when you do carve the very end pieces of this. Now, I haven't used any of the rubbing alcohol and water to soften it up, but if you do use it sparingly on the ends. It can check on you when it dries, so you want to be very careful about that. So we have it outlined now. Okay, we have it completely outlined. So I'm going to go back and do a little bit deeper again, do a second pass, what I call a second pass to it. And we're going to reline it. We're going to follow it all the way back again. A little hard from where I'm seeing if I'm doing this. I think I have it right. And you want to try to get it in as straight in as you can. See how I'm moving the carving and not so much my hand with the knife. Sometimes you can move the carving instead of moving your knife. Makes it a little bit safer, I think, from time to time. Okay, so we're just going to go back up here. We're going to chop that out. And I wanted to put some grapes in here, but if you're going to do that, I would use a wood burner to make your little circles and to outline them, or use a small little gouge, a round gouge that can be the shape of your the grapes that you want hanging in here. So But I think I'm going to forego the grapes for right now. I might go back to that, I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of developing this as I go, so just kind of bear with me here for a little bit. Now I know I'm taking some of my other projects off, okay? Let me take a look at that. Yeah, looks good. So what we want to do is we want to round off our pumpkin right now, okay? We'll kind of want to match those where we went deep enough there. We just want to round it off. Alright, you can see it coming along. And we're going to give it the illusion that it's a little deeper than it is. And right here at the stem, I'm just going to cut that in a little bit. Just cut that out a little further. Alright, we're going to trim that up a little bit, just like so. Folks, when you work on the ends, I can't stress enough how important it is to have your knife sharp. You know, if it's not sharp, or you don't know how to sharpen, please get get someone you know that knows how to sharpen. Tell them you want to learn how to sharpen. And you know, it's so important in wood carving to be able to sharpen your knives and your gouges and your tools. It will make a much more pleasant hobby for sure. Nothing's more frustrating than trying to do this with a dull knife, folks. Really. Okay, see how I have that little bit of a lip now? Now we're going to go from the stem. And I don't want to cut too far because I don't want to hit into that edge. We're going to be rounding that off eventually anyway, but right now I don't want to make it I don't want to put any nicks where they don't need to be. Alright. Again, you just want to take your time, especially if you're going against the grain and into the grain, the end pieces. It makes it a little bit more difficult to carve that way, but you know, it's a little more challenging to understand how the grain is running. The chipmunk that I did also had, you know, that particular video, I'd used that alcohol and water, and I threw that thing into a bag to keep it soft, and when I took it out of the bag, folks, it checked everywhere the next day. It had cracks all over it, and I ended up finishing it and then ended up winning a couple little blue ribbons. So it proved to me that if you mess up, there's a way of fixing it. Okay, so there's our little pumpkin. Alright, so we have a pumpkin, an apple, and a pumpkin. Now we're going to do the pumpkin behind there too, so I'm going to do this one offline, and I'll show you how to finish this on the top on our next segment.